No. No report this morning, thank you.
Okay. County Taylor, Wayne Taylor.
Good morning, everyone. I've attached a copy of the department annual report, which is pretty much a summary of the entire year. That's what I would like, is a resolution to accept it and place it on file.
A resolution accepting and placing on file. Mr. Monty. Second. Mr. Miga. Questions, concerns? I do have a...
Go ahead, Steve.
I looked at this the other day.
Yep.
On the particulars of civil procedures or proceeding.
Okay, yeah.
Is this money that the county receives?
Yes.
And they're all paid?
They're all paid and in the bank, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this typical every year?
Pretty much.
This amount?
Last year was over the top because I had a big petroleum quality situation in North Elba where they cut a number of seals and there was like 4,005 short transactions. Again, it contributed a lot to the bottom line, but they had cut my seals and adjusted the pumps, and each person wasn't getting what they were paying for. So that's what that one, whatever one it is here, I can't remember what it is. Sunoco Corporate, right there. It's about 2/3 of the way down.
Yeah.
But it's typical. I mean, I have a typical fine budget of $60,000 is what the county manager, they put in the budget, and that's what my benchmark. But again, it's not about generating revenue. I mean, in an ideal world, we would be revenue neutral, you know, if everything was as it should be, but it isn't, and we...
Called generating compliance.
Yeah, well, it's, you know, I really like the job. I like doing the package audit side of it. It's a lot of fun finding things that aren't as they should be.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Any questions on the occupancy tax side? I was prepared to answer any questions. We do, there is quite a bit going on with that. I do have a line on another vendor that will help with the data mining for the vacation rentals. I was able to come up with, like, there's 340 some odd that have registered year to date, or since 2016. But there is a third-party vendor that we found that works quite a bit with taxation departments around the country, state of Minnesota, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and they basically they mine the data by way of all the different websites, Craigslist, VRBO, HomeAway, and different things. And we're going to meet, Bruce and myself, we're going to meet with the vendor next Monday at 2:30. And again, I'm just there as a advisory. You know, I'm not going to be, it's Bruce's show.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
I have a question. I have a question.
Mr. Monty.
Hello.
Any questions?
Wayne, on the civil penalties and the fines, I know we've had this discussion before, but like when you see Max Market on here and Tops and Screw Lake and Elizabethtown and so on, those fines are actually levied against the packager, correct? I mean, if it's
by virtue of case law,
Heinz ketchup, it's, you know, I mean, and it's short, or potato chips and that kind of thing.
right. The vendor is typically, New York is a seller state by case law.
Right.
So technically the seller is responsible for the penalty, but then they can recoup the penalty plus their costs from the vendor. That's,
okay.
But again, they have to initiate that and they have to do that on their own.
So that, okay, I follow you.
You know,
Yeah.
I know it's been a concern in the past, and I did, Pete Ramsdale of Max Market did tell me that he had no issue with short rate violations because he ended up, it was was to their credit.
No, correct.
At the end.
No, listen, I'm glad it's like a consumer protection agency. I mean, I'm glad you're out there.
Yeah.
Out there
No,
doing it. I just wanted people to understand that it's not directly against that business establishment in your community.
Well, the only exception to that...
Well, it is, but I mean, it ultimately...
The only exception to that would be if
their
other packages...
If their packaging, such as their meat and things like that.
But random pack, the difference would be random pack or standard pack. Standard pack is one that was packed outside the store. Random pack is one, typically you would see the label of responsibility. Whoever puts the declaration of responsibility on the package, they're the one that's responsible for the penalty. You know, we find a lot, I say a lot, a good number of times I'll find things that are packaged in the store. You know, people don't take the proper tear. They won't take the tear out. You know, the difference between a small pack of chicken and a family pack. Right. And a lot of times the employees don't know the difference, and they don't take the appropriate deduction. And again, it's one of those things you educate. The mantra, the suggested mode of operation is to inform, warn, and then penalize. Right. Okay, that's by the New York State Quality Manual. But any of these businesses that have been doing it this long know the routine.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Monty?
Wayne, I just want to say thank you again, because I was the one to ask you for a more detailed report, and they're spot on. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jim. Did you get the scorecard? I did a monthly scorecard.
Yes.
Okay, that's part of it? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Board of Elections. Do you have anything, Sue?
No, I was here to answer the question.
Thank you. District Attorney, Christie's not here. Emergency Services, Don Jaquish.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, the first thing I need is a resolution to accept and award the contract for the hazard mitigation jurisdictional grant to Mountain View Planning, and they were the low bidder. There were actually 4 bidders ranging from $50,000 to $30,000 being the low bid. So I'd like a resolution to award that to them.
Wes, second. Mr. Monty, questions, concerns? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And Friday, I was notified that we are the recipient of a New York State Interoperable Communications Grant. It's called a SIG. Essex County, this is a formula-based grant, so there was $45 million in the state funding, which all comes from 911 surcharge monies, by the way. So they gave us 45 of the 300 million. In saying that, we were awarded, $798,157, and this will be a reoccurring grant, is what they're telling me, because it's formula-based. So for this year, I'd like permission from the board, a resolution allowing us to accept the grant. And what we'll do then is, we have to do a budget within 2 weeks. This grant was actually, last December was its time frame started, but they just got us the guidance and the award letter Friday. So I'd like permission to accept this grant.
Okay,
The amount, Don?
It's $798,157.
all right. Mr. Miga, second. Mr. Gilliland, questions, concerns?
Don, have you figured out at this point what you're going to use it for?
We've got a tentative budget, some mobile radios, and some infrastructure building and some microwave building, but to sit down and do specific line items, we haven't done it yet. We were surprised about the amount, to tell you the truth. Other counties got much less, bigger counties got less. So the formula that they use, they didn't tell us what it is. I think a lot of it has to do with our partnerships with other agencies. There are things we wanted to buy that we can't buy with it. You can't pay salaries, you can't...
Well, there's a way to do that.
There's for only the coordinator.
And there's no match?
No match, no.
And do you use the time limit to spend this?
It's 2018, I think it's December 2018. Yeah.
Mr. Meegan?
Don, will any of this money trickle down to the individual departments and agencies?
It will, if there are issues and infrastructure issues or radio issues, yes. If we have some reception issues or something, we're going to try to use this money to correct any deficiencies in the radio system itself.
Thank you.
What about equipment for local agencies, as far as radios?
Yes, that's what we were talking about, mobiles, that thing, yeah. They allow LMR, land mobile radio purchasing. Everything has to be kind of related to the radio system.
Mr. Scottafather?
Preventive maintenance, service contract, that type of
Yeah.
thing. I remember we had to do a service contract just recently, so that would, you could use it
I'm not
towards
sure.
that.
I'm not sure, Tom. I got to read the guidance again. I briefly scanned it on Friday night, but
I remember those were,
if it's possible, we certainly would look at that.
they were six figures amount.
Yeah.
I remember.
$300,000.
And thank
This
you.
is a reoccurring drink?
Yes. They're telling us that,
That's what
yes.
they're saying now. It's from the state.
So, did we get a resolution for that?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried.
And the other thing is, tomorrow FEMA will be in town. I know a lot of you turned in costs associated with the storm, the snowstorm. So they're going to do, the state went out and probably met with some of you. They do a random, they sample 10% of the claim. Well, now the FEMA guys are coming back to double check again before they go any further. So some reps from Albany are coming up tomorrow to meet with DPW first, and then some of the towns. They haven't told me which ones. But they'll be at my office at 10 o'clock. And that's all I have.
Thank you.
I have one question.
Yes, Mr. Meegan?
Not to recreate the wheel or anything, but where you have the EMS and fire responses, is there some easy way to put like the average response time for the departments? And the reason I ask that is because I know we're working on this countywide EMS initiative, and it would seem that that might be a pertinent point of information to just have at hand.
We can probably do that. I'm not going to say for sure. Our MIS system, I'll have to talk with Mike and Scott Honus and see if they can design a report that generates that information.
Yeah, let's not recreate the wheel. If it's something that's easy and available and it could just be incorporated with the report, great. If not, then let's not create more paperwork.
Okay.
Mr. Gillen?
On that, in the EMS report that's going to be presented to the board, that data will be in it.
Okay, then that's fine. Then disregard my request.
Okay. Anything else?
Mr. Monti.
Mr. Monti?
Yeah, Don, on your report there, it says you're developing a transportation plan
A mass transportation plan, yes.
for disaster.
For disasters. So how do you move large numbers of people all at once?
I wasn't sure because it says just developing a transportation plan, that could be...
It's been an ongoing, lower priority project, but we're trying to get to it.
Thank you.
Anything else?
That would be it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Emergency Medical Services, Patty Bashaw? No? Okay, Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Cutting? Anything for Mr. Cutting? All right, thank you. Probation, Mrs. Beatty? She's not in, no? Public Defender, Brandon Boutel? He's been excused?
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else from... No? Mr. Monti?
I was saving the question for Brandon, but is there any reason our public defenders can't be used in family court to represent some of these people to lessen the burden?
No, there isn't any specific reason. What happened, let me just, if you go back to history a little bit, what happened was when we created the local law to create the public defender's office, there was and I think Tom was around at that point, no, there was a fairly large response from the Bar Association as it relates to how that was going to impact assigned counsel programs. So the compromise at that point was that we would use Public Defender's Office for criminal matters, and family court matters would still be under assigned counsel program. There's nothing to say that you can't change that. It takes some work that Mr. Manning would have to do some legal work associated with it, but you could do that. The real issue is how many attorneys that you would need to add to the Public Defender's Office to handle the caseload, and what that ultimately would cost you. I think it would save money. I do. But it is irrespective, even if you hire attorneys to do it, you're probably still going to have some assigned counsel issues because you run into issues that are going to conflicts and those kinds of things. But no, it's something we talked about. I do think it's possible. One of the issues that we would have immediately is we don't have enough room for additional attorneys right now. That's not to say that we couldn't find something, but yeah.
Another question?
As you know, Mr. Manning has inquired with the Bar Association and stuff, and basically has not gotten any traction with them. The second phase was he was going to be agreed to look into doing kind of a cost-benefit analysis of the cost of how many new public defenders you need, and versus what we're paying out right now. And he's a busy man, but I'm waiting for that data.
Mr. Scott,
I would just say what Mr. Gillen just said, that currently, I think at a couple finance meetings ago, we discussed this, and he was going to look into the numbers of hiring more attorneys versus the cost of contracting out and so on. So,
Mr. Monty?
This is twice that I've heard, in the past where the Bar Association seems to dictate to us what we do. Do we have a contract with them or something?
No, we don't.
The tail wags the dog?
Well, wait a minute, it's 18B of the county law, which essentially says Bar Association determines the assigned counsel program, and how crazy as it may seem, it's chicken, the fox in charge of the hen house, but that the law specifically says 18B provides that the Bar Association is actually supposed to develop the plan for assigned counsel programs.
And have they ever developed a plan?
That plan was developed, I think, in 1930. I'm not sure. It's in place and still been in place since that time. We revised it by local law when we formed the Public Defender's Office, but in essence, 18B is still the ruling law when it comes to determining that kind of stuff.
Well, hold on.
just to expound on that, if I may, Dan, correct me if I'm wrong, but looking at the attorneys that we have under assigned counsel that are actually from within Essex County, is few and far between. I mean, a lot of those attorneys are coming from outside the county, and that's why the cost gets so prohibitive, because we're paying them $100 and some an hour from the minute they sit in their car till they get here. And,
Mr. Gillen?
I was at a NISAC, some meetings on it last year, and I don't understand it, but some counties, it's codified that if we had a legal aid society here in Essex County, we could turn the assigned counsel over to legal aid legally, and they would pick it up. But there's no legal aid up here. Some counties in the south have legal aid, and all their assigned counsel goes through them.
All set? All right. Anything else in front of the Public Safety Committee?